What's going on, guys? Welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. This week's episode is kind of interesting, actually, because my wife and I just moved to a house. And so I'm kind of in a new podcast studio. It's under construction, but it's definitely taken shape. Obviously, you have no idea about that if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. But the show, if you don't know, is videotaped and is on YouTube as well. So if you haven't had a chance to go check out the show on YouTube, you can go there, go check out kind of what's going on as far as the studio and how it develops and all that stuff. So with that aside, this week's topic is what I wish I knew going into college. What I wish I knew going into college. It's April, and for a ton of high school seniors, I know because I'm a youth pastor and I see it, is that they're preparing for college, right? Like they're trying to figure out what they're going to major in, where they're going to go, and all that great stuff. And whether you're a senior about to go into your freshman year of college, or you are a freshman in college, or you're a senior in college, or all those things, this time of year is a pivotal time because either you're trying to lock up internships, you're trying to lock up a college in general, maybe you're thinking about transferring, changing majors, maybe you're just thinking about what job you want and what you want to do with your life, right? All those big decisions coming upon, and it makes me reflect on my own season of college. Man, I look back and I really am grateful for my college years. I mean, there were definitely, great times, but there were also some tough times. I can think as far as good times go, I played a ton of intramurals. I ate my fair share of food at the dining hall. I loved the classes that I took. I really did. I loved the teachers, the professors that I had, the friends that I got to have around me as well. And college for me, I would look back and say overall was a really great experience. But that didn't go without some tough times, right? I went through some breakups. I dealt with some financial hardships and even lost some loved ones along the way. But as I think back on my college time, I don't hold any regrets necessarily, but there are some things in which I would have done differently. And I felt like that if I would have lived by the principles I want to give you guys today, that my college experience as a whole would have been a lot more productive. And so that's what I want to talk about. I want to give all of you guys 3 points, 3 things on what I wish I knew going in to college. Number 1 is that I wish I would have known this. Be intentional about who you connect with at college. Be intentional about who you connect with at college. The saying goes, right? Show me your friends and I will show you your future. Finding solid friends is a key factor to a good college experience. And it's crazy because we have plans for everything going into college, right? We have a meal plan. We are trying to figure out who we're going to room with, where we're going to live, what we're going to major in, what classes we want to take, and all those great things. We set up a plan for all those things, but we don't set up a plan for probably the most important part of college, which is who are the people that you're going to hang out with. Is that we don't operate with any intentionality in that regard for the most part. And what I've seen as a youth pastor who sees high schoolers go off to college all the time, and some come back and some transfer and all that great stuff, and some enjoy it and some don't, the common denominator is who they end up connecting with when they get to that college. Is that friends and your support group of people are the most vital part of a college experience. When someone comes back and tells me they're either in love with their college or not feeling it, it's typically because the friends that they have or the lack thereof. So for you, if you're listening, and you're like, okay, Nick, I get it. I want to be intentional about who I connect with at college. Here's what you can do. For a Christian listen to this podcast, right? The most important thing you can do is start mapping out churches in the area and see if they have a small group you can try out, maybe for college age people or whatever it may be. Look at organizations or clubs, maybe fraternities and sororities that are have a Christian foundation. Maybe you're even like a fitness enthusiast. Look up some different gyms in the area. Just really anything where you're intentionally crafting a plan to connect to solid Christian people. Don't let yourself live on an island in college. Connect to solid community. That's number 1. Number 2, grades don't guarantee success after graduation. Grades don't guarantee success after graduation. I'm talking to all my perfectionists, all my people who are like, I've never had less than an A in my entire life. And that's great for you. But from my school, at least from my university, I graduated magna cum laude. And what that means is basically that I had some decent grades. But guess who cared? Pretty much no one besides my direct family. And that's not to say that you should just go fail every class. Of course not. But the reality is that grades don't guarantee success after graduation. My hiring managers, no one in HR, no one I interviewed with ever asked about my GPA or anything like that. Grades don't guarantee success. Obviously work hard, but recognize like just because you're getting A's in all of your classes doesn't mean that you're automatically in a lock for like success in a career field. The thing that matters the most coming out of college is experience. The thing that matters the most coming out of college is experience. Like more important than like, busting it to try and get like that extra 2 points in the essay is probably taking a part-time position or even just an unpaid internship in the field that you think you may want to work in. So if you want to, for example, myself, I'm a pastor. So if you want to be a pastor, you ought to go find a church to serve in. If you want to be a sales rep or some marketing person in business, you ought to go find a business or organization that can set you up to be successful in that career field. If you want to be a doctor or a medical person, go shadow somebody at a hospital. Spend more time getting valuable experience than you do like crunching over those extra few points on a grade. I get it. Grades are like important and you need the degree, but recognize that grades don't guarantee success, and spend a lot more of your time worrying about where you're going to get the experience necessary to make yourself valuable to the organization that you're going to work for, or the organization maybe that you'll start one day. Either way, just recognize grades don't guarantee success. Last one, number 3, don't be boring. Don't be boring. Yes, college is a time to be taken seriously. Like, yes, it requires lots of time and effort, and yes, how you do there will impact the rest of your life. But don't let the severity of school rob you of the fun that is college, man. Like, this is the only time in your life where you'll be like surrounded by thousands of people your age. Make the most of that. Go on those late night meal runs. I mean, go travel to a city you've never been to before. Like if your friend lives in like Wisconsin or Missouri or a city that you don't live in and they're going home for Thanksgiving, like go with them. That's fun. Go hang with your friends at the beach on spring break. Like go do these things. Obviously don't go crazy and operate into a life of sin, but college should still be exciting. Treat it as such. Don't spend all your days in the library or your dorm studying. Like make some memories, man. Have some fun. And in sum, if you are intentional about doing these 3 things, with being intentional about who you connect with and getting some real world experience and having some fun, you will have a phenomenal college experience.